Hi, welcome back. So, in this session, we will learn about what are the Salesforce Developer interview questions and answers for us in IQVIA. So, first question is, what is the security model in your current projects? So, Salesforce provides a secure and flexible data security to secure data at different levels. That is, org level security, object level security, field level security, record level security. It all starts with object and field and control. Let's have a look at above terms, that is object, field and record. What is object, what is field, and what it is worth? Objects that are similar to database tables that store the information, and fields are the columns from the database table that you can enter some values over there, and records are similar to rows of data inside the data table. So second question, first question, okay. Layer 1, what is object level security? So object level access can be managed through two configurations, that is profile and permission set. So what are the access given to the profiles and permissions, that is create, read, edit, delete, view all, modify all. And profiles, what are profiles? So profiles is assigning a user a profile is compulsory. So let's suppose you create a user. When you created a user, profile is mandatory for there, but role is not mandatory. You can either create it later, but while creating the user, profile is necessary to select that profile of a particular user. So as this is the place where you configure other things like page layout, assignment or login IP restrictions. However, for object and field level security setup, configure profiles for minimum access and use permission set to add permissions. So what are permission sets? So permission sets are more flexible in context to profile. You can add multiple permission sets to a given user. This gives you much more flexibility at the time of designing your security model, as functionality can be grouped in more granular ways. When only using profiles, you need to group all the objects and field permission in a single profile. For instance, for a concrete job role as sales executive, with permission set, you can have different permission sets representing the different tasks that a sales executive performance manage, lead, approve, opportunity, etc. And add on more, remove similar smaller chunks of permissions to a user at intent. So in simple words, permission set is a, you can say like that it given the extra access to a particular user without changing the profile. Let's say you can give the access of apex classes that can run in a user, in that particular user. Like this we can give the permissions to the user without changing their profile. Okay, layer 2 is field level security. That what are the access given to the field level security is read, edit and hidden. So even if a user has access to object, he still needs to access to individual fields of each object. So in Salesforce, profile and permission sets also control the field level access. So an admin can provide read and write permission for individual fields. So an admin can also set a field to hidden, completely hiding, removing access to field from that user. Let's suppose when user are login to that Salesforce, when user login to that Salesforce, some particular fields are hidden to that particular user, and let's say user P is login to the Salesforce. So some particular fields are hidden to that particular. Then we can give access to the particular type of user, which type of user is read access, which one is edit and which one edit. We can demonstrate as per our business requirement. We can use that. So when you hide a field for the field level security, the field won't be accessible through the any entry point, for instance via API. Okay. Layer 3, record level security. Record level security is often referred to as the Salesforce sharing model, or just simply record sharing and sharing. So Salesforce provides 5 ways to share records with other and access other records. You can start by configuring org by default to lock down your data to the most restrictive level. Then you use the other record level security tools to grant additional access to select users when needed. Okay, so these are the or what is this? Yeah, record level security, that like organization wide sharing default, role hierarchies, sharing roles, owner based sharing rules, criteria based sharing rules. Sharing will divide into two parts, that is owner based and criteria based, and fourth is manual sharing. Five is apex managed sharing. So, organization-wide sharing defaults. In Salesforce, records have a field called owner ID. Okay, that points to a real user. Let's suppose when you create a record, suppose user A create a record. So when he's created a record and he hits a save button, so user like owner ID will be A. Okay, and if user B is created a record, the owner ID should be B. It depends on the owner of the record who login access of the record. Okay, owners of record are usually people who created the record and have full CRUD operations like create, read, update, and delete access to it. So organization-wide defaults (OWD) control the default behavior of how every record of a given object, for example account, is accessed by users who do not own the record. What are role hierarchies? Typically in an organization, different job roles have different record access requirements. Normally job roles are sorted in a hierarchical way. Users with a higher roles should have access to records to which the users in lower roles have access. Let's suppose your company CEO has access to all the records and manager has access only to employee records, and employee have access only to employee records which are owned by them. Okay, so these are the hierarchies that who can see the all records. Manager can see the your employee records, but CEO can see the employee as well as manager records. These are the role hierarchies. Okay, note that the role hierarchy really maps to an org chart. It really maps hierarchies of data access. Salesforce provide an easy way to share record with managers and represent a role hierarchy. To use this sharing role, an admin must add the user to a role and grant access. What is sharing rules? Hierarchy based sharing only works for sharing upward and in a vertical direction. What if we want to share laterally? For example, what if we want to share records that a user owns with his her peers in the same team? This is where sharing rules come in. So, sharing room provides a way to share records laterally and in an ad hoc fashion via public group. Let's look into details. So, owner-based sharing rules. Owner-based sharing rules let admins share records based on the role and subordinate, and public group ownership. And criteria-based sharing rules. Criteria-based sharing rules let users access record based on the value of a field in a record, irrespective of who owns the record. It means owner pays who owns the record, and you can share records via role and subordinate like public group. You can add users in the public group and you can share the records as well. And criteria based sharing rules doesn't see who owns the record, like user A and user B, who it doesn't see. It sees that when a criteria base is saved, like site is when site is already Kolkata, then share the records to the A as well as B, like this. You can add more number of users as well in the criteria based sharing rule. Okay, manual sharing. Manual sharing provides a mechanism to share individual records with others. This permission is accessed through the sharing button on the record detail page and lets end users share individual records with others. So manual sharing is that when you created a record, there is a button on the top of the Salesforce like manual sharing. When you click on hit on manual sharing, some pop-up option will be open that okay, which user want to share these records, like user A, B, C. There are the list of users come and you can select more number of users or one users and hit on save. That these records are that record are shared with another user. So please note this is only available if the OW is private or public read only, because otherwise say public read and write you wouldn't need it. Okay, it manual sharing only applicable for available for OW when old organization by default is private or public read only. Otherwise, public read and you wouldn't need it. Okay, Apex Apex managed sharing. There are occasions when you can't share records via UI or settings, but you need to write Apex code to do so. Okay. These are the visibility opens up organization by default, then role hierarchy, then sharing. These are the opens. Okay. What are the following? That omni-channel. Salesforce Omnichannel is a tool that sits inside of either the sales or service console that, once enabled and configured automatically, pushes work to your users in real time. Omnichannel takes incoming work items and routes them to the most qualified available support agents using the routing criteria that you define. Okay, App Exchange features a variety of apps to help solve your business challenges. You can choose from thousands of pre-built and customizable apps components like Flowbolt and Lighting data solutions. You will also find nearly thousands of certified consultants to help with you Salesforce implementation and integrations in your App Exchange. What is Community Cloud? Experience Cloud is an online platform that enables institutions to connect customers, partners, and employees with each other and the data and records that they need to go get work done. This next generation portal combine the real-time collaboration of chatter with the ability to share any file data record anywhere on any mobile devices. Enable custom brand community. It offers customizable template and layout, collaboration tools, and access control. Integration with Salesforce CRM and enhance engagement, productivity, and collaboration for customers, partners, and employees. Salesforce Experience Cloud is also known as Community Cloud. What is compact layout? Compact layout help make your team more productive by presenting them with the key record information so they can easily manage their work. For example, show phone numbers and reasons on an account, or edges or show stages amount and ownership field on an opportunity. With compact layout, you can highlight whatever your users need to see at a glance when they look at a record. Compact layout, it means these are the when these are the stages, like when you some important field you want to display at the top of the record, so compact layout works like this. Okay, what are the development asked in IQVIA questions? That ISO write a SQL query to fetch the recently viewed of the record. Okay, these are the solutions like select ID name, type last view date, profile dot name from recently viewed, where type is equal to account, order by last view date is descending. Like this you can return. So write a program patch class trigger to convert name into name like Abhishek HN while inserting the account. Wait. These are the code like trigger contact name conversion or content it's before insert because it not related to related it is converted on the same record, same object. So for contact is so trigger dot new split, yeah, split the full name into words like list of name of parts like contact and name dot split, and in it initialize empty string for the converted name like it. After that you will iterate the word iterate through the words into the name, and after that remove trailing space and append hn like this. Converted name is converted name dot trim plus hn. You can add over there and update the contact name with the last name with the converted name. That contact last name is equal to converted name, that like this one. Okay. Yeah, this is the patch class that global class content tab implements database dot patchable. These are the codes. You can refer this. You can pause this video and you can get what are the functions are used, like split the full name into words, initialize an empty string for the converted name, iterate through the words in the name and remove trailing space and append and update the record and last name with the converted name. Then after that update the contacts in bulks, and after the global white finished this option you can add a post logic logic. Okay. Batch class syntax and explanation. What is return type of batch class? So global, these are the syntax of writing the batch class. That is, you can start with global class, my batch class, implement database dot patchable as object, and you can database dot query liquid, and you can use that. After that, the start method, the execute method, and the finish method. These are the process each record of in the execute process each batch of record in the execute method. After that, execute any post processing operation like sending emails. You can do in the finish method. Okay, these are the explanation of start method, execute and finish method. So start method is called at the beginning of a batch apex job. This method is used to collect the records or objects to pass to the interface. Method execute, this method returns either a database.queryLegator object or an iterable that contains the records or object passed into the job. Query executed in the start method will return maximum 5 crore records in a transaction. Okay, in the execute method. Okay, uh, the execute method is called for each batch of record passed into the method. This method is used to for do all the processing of data. This method takes the following: a reference of database.patchable content object, a list of batch object records. Batches of records are not guaranteed to execute in the order they are received from the start method. That finish method. That finish method is also called the after all batches are processed. This method is used to send the confirmation emails or execute post processing operations. Okay, these are the processes. This method takes only one argument and a reference database dot patchable context objects. Okay, what are the keynote point? It will return either a database.queryLegator object or an iterable that has the object or records passed to the job. Use the database.queryLegator object when you use a simple query like select to get a scope of object in the job. What are the order of execution of triggers? Like you can fetch, firstly it's fetch the data into the database. Second, validation. Third, validation does not run on ID. System validation, user defined validation. After that, before trigger, validation rules custom plus standard, duplicate rules. After that, save record but does not commit add. And after that, after triggers, then assignment rule, then auto response rule, then workflow rules, then workflow update again can only before an update, after update, and system validation. Not all custom validation duplicate element. Then after that, process and flow, then escalation rule, then entanglement, then cross object formulas, roll up summary, criteria based summary, commit all DML operation, and post logic email. These are the order of execution of trigger, how trigger works. What is the purpose of test setup? Test setup test data for an entire test class. Use the test setup method that are annotated with the test setup to create test record once and then access them every test method in the text class. Okay, test setup method can be time saving when you need to create a reference or prerequisite data for all the test method or a common set of records that all test methods operate on. What are the key highlights points are at the test setup annotation in test class method. One test class can have only one address test setup method. This method will not work if the test class is marked with is the see all data is equal to true. By default, all test method can write the same data created in this method without having to create it again. Test setup method used for creating test data. If any error populate in test setup method, all test method will fail. Okay, how to hide or show lightning component, explain or write syntax using aura tag. In Salesforce Lightning, you can hide or show a lightning component using the aura if tag. The aura if tag allows you to conditionally render content based on a boolean value. Here's the explanation in example syntax for hiding showing a lightning component. So create a boolean attribute in your component controller and helper that determines whether component should be shown or hidden like this. Aura attribute name is equal to show component type is equal to boolean default is equal to true. Okay, in this example we have defined a boolean attribute called show component and set its default value to true, which means the component will be initially shown. Okay, use the aura if tag to conditionally render your component based on the value of the show component attribute like this. Aura if is true, we dot show component, your component content goes here like this, and inside the aura you can place the content of the component that you want to show or hide. In this example we are rendering a child component name, your component name like this. Okay, to toggle the visibility of the component, you can update the show component attribute in your controller and a helper javascript like this. Javascript component of set with the show component is equal to false. Okay, these are the javascript code for the showing of component. You can refer this, you can pause this video and you can see what are the functions using the what are the requirements and functions used in that. Okay, coming to next, with sharing and without sharing purpose and learn uses of this in code. In Apex, with sharing and without sharing keywords determine how the sharing rules are enforced when the code is executed. Okay, the sharing rule determines the record access permissions for the user based on the object organization by default, and the sharing rule defined in Salesforce. In this article, we will discuss these keywords, provide some examples like this. With sharing keyword. The with sharing keyword enforces that sharing rules defined in Salesforce with when the code is executed. Suppose you write some sharing rule of that particular object record, okay, with sharing rules, and when the code when your apex class with return is with sharing, then the sharing rule will be executed for that. Okay, this means that apex code running with sharing keyword enforces the record level access permission is as defined in Salesforce. If the user does not have the access to the they will not be able to see, view, edit or delete that record even they are execute the code. Here is the example with sharing like public with sharing class account controller public list account set get set and public account controller directly select id name from type from account. In this above example with sharing keyword enforce that sharing rule defined in Salesforce. This means that if the user does not have access to an account, then the account will not be returned the list of accounts even if the query returns it. Okay, it means your sharing rule will work. Without sharing, the without sharing keyword on the other hand ignores the sharing rule defined in Salesforce when the code is executed. It ignores the sharing rules. Okay, this means that the Apex code running without sharing does not enforce the record level access permission, does not enforce the record level access permission defined in Salesforce. Okay, this keyword is generally used for the situations where you need to perform some action that require access to records that the current user does not have. That is public without sharing class account controller public list account, same as the with sharing. Okay, public account controller account select id name type from account. In this above example, with the without sharing keyword ignores that sharing rule defined in Salesforce. Okay, This means that all the accounts will be returned in the list of record even if the user does not have access some of them. Okay, this will return all the accounts, and when you use with sharing, it will return the sharing rule will work on that, and it will return the list of record which have access to that sharing rule. Okay. When to use with sharing and without sharing. You should use with sharing when you need to enforce the record level access permission defined in Salesforce. Okay, this is generally the case for most Apex code. You should use without sharing when you need to perform some actions that require access to records that a current user does not have. In conclusion, the with sharing and without sharing keyword are used in Apex to enforce or ignore the sharing rules defined in Salesforce. The choice of keyword depends on the use case and whether you need to enforce the record level permissions or not. By using these keywords, you can build more secure and robust Apex code that enforces the sharing rule in your Salesforce org. So that's all about this. So thank you so much. Please hit like and comment and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.